Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, what if you could have a world-class expert in any field on call 24/7 right in your pocket? Well, that's not science fiction anymore. That's the promise of OpenAI's brand new model, GPT-5. And today we're going to break down what this means for all of us. So, to really wrap our heads around just how big this leap is, OpenAI has this great analogy. Think of their last model, GPT-4o, as a super smart, really eager college student. GPT-5? That's a whole different ballgame. We're talking about having a legitimate PhD level expert on demand. And that's coming straight from the top. That's OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, and he's framing this as way more than just an upgrade. This is a fundamental shift. The whole idea is to move beyond a simple chatbot and give every single one of us access to true expert-level intelligence for literally any goal we can think of. So what does all this power actually mean for you and me? Well, here's the plan. We're going to look at this PhD in your pocket idea, dig into its revolutionary new way of thinking, see its power to create software on demand, learn how it becomes a personal AI partner, and wrap up with the mission to get this AI into everyone's hands. All right, let's kick things off with that big idea. What does it actually mean to have a PhD in your pocket? So this PhD thing, it isn't just about raw smarts. It's really about being more reliable. OpenAI says GPT-5 is way faster, more intuitive, and this is a big one. It makes far fewer of those weird, made-up factual errors that we call hallucinations. They see this as a really significant milestone on the path to AGI, or artificial general intelligence, which is kind of the holy grail of AI, right? An AI that can learn and reason just as well as a human. But here's the kicker. This huge leap in intelligence, it doesn't just come from feeding it more data. It comes from a fundamental change in how GPT-5 actually thinks. And trust me, this is where it gets really, really cool. They've got a name for it, the reasoning paradigm. So instead of just blurting out the first answer it comes up with, the model can now actually pause and think through a problem, kind of like we do. And the really clever part is it automatically figures out just how much thinking time your question really needs to get the perfect answer. And this is a total game changer because it solves this super annoying trade-off we've always had with AI. You had to choose, right? Do you want the fast, snappy model for quick answers or the slower, super brainy model for the heavy lifting? Well, GPT-5 basically says, why not both? It just flexes its thinking power on demand so you get speed and deep thought all in one package. Okay, so this new ability to reason, it doesn't just make the answers better, it unlocks this incredible creative power. And probably the most mind-blowing example of this is its ability to build software from scratch. This is what has Sam Altman calling this the beginning of the software on demand era. And the concept is simple, but whoa, it's profound. If you can describe an idea for an app or a tool, GPT-5 can just build it for you, right there, instantly. I mean, the live demos were absolutely incredible. We watched it build an interactive physics simulation you could actually play with, a fully working French learning app, and even a 3D castle with a little playable game inside. And it did all of this from a single sentence prompt in just a few minutes. It's just nuts. And look, this isn't just some flashy stage trick. This coding skill is backed by hard data. It scored a staggering 97% on something called the Tower Square benchmark. You can think of it like a super hard obstacle course for AI, testing if it can actually use a bunch of different software tools to solve complex real-world problems. And 97%, that is a massive leap forward. Okay, so it can code like a professional. But it's not just about building stuff. GPT-5 is also designed to be a more helpful personal partner in your daily life. It's all about making technology feel a little more human. The entire ChatGPT experience is getting this huge redesign to feel more human. The voice interactions, they're just startlingly natural. It can literally see what you see through your camera to help you in the real world. And with an enhanced memory and direct hooks into your Gmail and Google Calendar, it starts to feel less like an app and much more like a true personal assistant. Now, these features are definitely convenient for everyday tasks, no doubt about it. But their true impact, their real power, that's often revealed when the stakes are much, much higher.
During the launch, a cancer survivor named Carlina Millen shared this incredibly powerful story. She was totally overwhelmed by complex medical reports, full of jargon she couldn't understand. She used GPT to translate it all, and in a moment of panic, she said it was like having a medical expert right there, calmly explaining her options. That's the real promise here, isn't it? Empowering people with knowledge when they need it the most.
Of course, this kind of power brings up a huge question. How do you make it both safe and accessible for everybody? Well, that's the final piece of OpenAI's strategy. So they've completely overhauled their safety system. The old models were pretty black and white. They would either refuse a prompt or they would fully do it. The new safe completion model is much more nuanced. It tries to be as helpful as it possibly can within the safety guardrails. So maybe that means it partially answers a question or it even explains why it can't give you a full answer. It's much smarter. But maybe the single most significant announcement when it comes to accessibility is this. For the first time ever, OpenAI's most advanced, top-of-the-line model is available to free users. That instantly puts the most powerful AI they have ever built into the hands of hundreds of millions of people around the world. And this all brings us to one final, really powerful question. When expert-level intelligence becomes a universally accessible tool, when there's literally a PhD in every single pocket, what becomes possible for us? What are we going to create, to solve, and to achieve next?